It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth a hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl as we continue with our middle school competition, and this our 38th year in PGCPS. Two great middle schools here today vying for the chance to become the last of our 4 semifinalists in this year's competition. Let's meet those teams right now. Joining us from Buck Lodge Middle School, so happy to have Kathleen with us today. Kathleen, you can wave to everybody at home. Their captain is Israel. They're already got their hands on the buzzer. They're ready and raring to go. And Michael is here too, all wearing those matching shirts. You guys look good. They'll be playing today against Charles Carroll. Charles Carroll, you guys are looking good too over there. Say hello to Eli. Hey Eli, nice to have you on our show today. Ben, part of a family tradition here. He is our captain, and Snyder is over there too. Good to have him, our 8th graders. And here in the Science Bowl, we have 6 categories of questions. If you're not familiar with our show, let's share those categories with you right now.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here in the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easier questions on the left, 5 and 10s, 15, 20, 25, increasingly more difficult. Both of our teams start out with 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. Into the 2 rounds today, we will have a competitor to play against Robert Goddard to be the last of our 4 semifinalists this year, joining Kettering and Greenbelt and Akakeek. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Hey, Israel, would you try the red team buzzer? All right, it's a group push over there. Looks and sounds good. Good luck to you, to Michael, and to Kathleen. Ben, how about the green team? It's in good working order as well. Good luck to you, to Snyder, and to Eli. Guys, you ready to play the game? Let's do it. All right, you seem a little nervous. It's normal to be a little nervous. As soon as you get your first point, you're going to feel comfortable. I want you to succeed, and no matter what happens today, you have all won. By being here, it takes courage to do this. You have won. You're great ambassadors for your school. Let's have a great game. We go alphabetically B before C. So Israel, let's play the bowl. Give me a category and a number.
Zoo, at 25.
Zoo for 25. Here's the big one in that category. All right. It's a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please, for this zoo parade for 25 questions. The state of Nevada was recently overrun by millions of these migrating...
Crickets.
Yes, sir.
Crickets.
That is true, but we were headed somewhere else, Michael. Wish I could have given you those points. We'll repeat the question for Charles Carroll. Looking at that picture again. The state of Nevada recently was overrun by millions of migrating Mormon crickets, as Michael just told us there, giving off disgusting smells when they got run over by cars. These insects aren't crickets at all, but rather a kind of these K-initialed insects that we know here as light green-colored grasshoppers. What are those K-initialed insects for 25 points? Charles Carroll. They're called katydids, katydids, and they make that sound, and you can see them. They're very hard to see on leaves, but they are very common around here. No points. Let's go back to Israel. Go ahead.
Zoo, 10.
Zoo for 10. All right. There's a country in West Africa named for what material that makes up the elongated teeth of elephants? Charles Carroll.
What do you have? What was it?
What's that material?
Ivory?
Ivory, yes. The country is the Ivory Coast. Those teeth, those tusks, of the elephant, and of course that is their downfall because so many elephants are being poached for ivory. Very sad situation. All right, you got the points. Go green.
Green things for 15.
Green for 15 points. If you have a gluten allergy, you need to avoid foods made from this grain. Buck Lodge.
Wheat.
Wheat, you got it right. Yeah, a lot of people have gluten allergies and they can't eat bread and a lot of different kinds of carbohydrates. You got the points now. You're ahead by 5. Go Israel.
Let's get physical with 5.
Get physical for 5 points. While we in America use the customary system of measurements like cups and pints and ounces and gallons, in much of the rest of the world, they use metric units. Give me one.
Meters.
Give me one, Charles Carroll.
Meters.
Meter, absolutely. Millimeter, kilogram, you know, all of those. Yeah, it is a much easier system. We are the outliers. We tried to adopt the metric system once and it didn't take. Go. All right, tie score, 65 all. Ben.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Your question is as follows. It often looks like a disco inside a beehive as returning bees break into dance to let the other bees know where the best floral sources of these 2 foods can be found. What are the 2 foods that the bees eat?
Honey.
Okay, Ben, Eli, and Snyder. Go.
Honey and nectar.
Ooh, not quite. Good try. Good try. Buck Lodge, what 2 foods do bees eat when they come back and they let all the other bees know, hey, listen to me. Set your GPS.
Pollen and nectar.
Pollen and, no, not pollen. Pollen and nectar. Yes, you got that absolutely right. You got them both. Good comeback. Go, Red. Israel.
Science potpourri.
For how many points?
5.
5 points in science potpourri. All right. Kangaroos spit on their arms. Some bees pee on themselves. We humans sweat. All of us do those things, so what will happen? So what will happen, Ben?
To cool off.
We cool off, absolutely right. Snyder and Eli, you were getting it from both sides. Yeah, good work, all of you over there. Yeah, so evaporation takes place and you cool off. Perfect. Okay, go green. You're 10 points behind.
Let's get. Let's get physical for 15.
Physical for 15 points. We can do that for you. The heat of atmospheric reentry produced by this force was the reason heat-resistant tiles were placed on the underside of America's space shuttles. What force was the reason for those heat-resistant tiles as space shuttles returned to Earth? What force? Buck Lodge.
Gravity.
Not gravity, good try. Charles Carroll, name the force for the heat-resistant tiles on the bottom of the space shuttles re-entering the atmosphere. Correct answer is friction. Friction with the air as it came back. All right, buzzer is up. Boy, that was a first round. It was a very quick first round. Our score right now is Buck Lodge 80, Charles Carroll 70. We'll be back with more Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back, everyone. We have a lot more questions to ask here, science questions. Let's ask a few personal ones of our players. Find out about who's here and what the schools are like. Let's go to Buck Lodge and talk to Israel. And Israel, tell me a little bit about your school. Who is your principal?
Our principal is Mr. Nance.
All right, and I know he's very proud of you. And who is your coach?
Our coach is Miss Branch.
Miss Branch, and she's the reason you're here. She really stepped up and she wanted to get your school back onto Science Bowl because it's been many, many years since we saw you here. So you guys are in the vanguard. You're making history. You're making history today. Tell us a little bit about, do you have any alternates on your team? First names.
We have an alternate named Christopher.
And your alternate will come out in just a few moments here. Give the alternate a little bit of face time. Tell me something about Buck Lodge that you think everybody should know because you think it's a great place.
In Buck Lodge, everyone stands up for themselves and everyone should be a hero.
Wow, everyone's going to be, boy, I love that. I love that. If everybody feels that way, it's got to be a perfect school. You know, as close to perfect as it can be. Tell me about yourself, Israel. Why do you want to be on the show?
I want to be in the show because I like science a lot, and since in like 3rd grade, I was I really want to get into a science fair, but since our teachers didn't participate in the science fair, so since it's 6th grade and they let us, I decided to participate in the Science Bowl.
Well, we're happy that you're here, and I'd like to hear that you've been in the science fair. One of our judges here organizes the Kids for Science every year for elementary kids. So those of you that haven't participated, I hope you do this year. And I'll leave you, Israel, tell me what you want to do someday. Have you thought about that yet?
No, but I'm thinking maybe being a company owner.
Wonderful. You're going to be successful. I like your leadership skills over there. Kathleen, nice to have you with us today. Why did you want to be on the Science Bowl?
I wanted to be on Science Bowl because I'm very interested in science, and I think Science Bowl would be perfect for me.
Yeah, it's a good fit for you, Kathleen. And all right, someday have you thought about what you might want to do?
When I grow up, I wanted to work at NASA.
Yeah.
And
we were talking about that, yeah. And what would you do at NASA? Why would you want to work there?
I wanted to work at NASA to create new things that can live on Earth, and I wanted to find a way to make new homes for people on different planets.
Yeah, if we go to Mars someday or beyond, we're going to have to live up there for a while. You know, so we want to find comfortable places. So if you can be part of the architectural team that designs that, that would be wonderful. Nice to have you here, Kathleen. Michael, you seem to have so much energy and know so much. How do you know so much science?
Ever since I was 5, I've always taken an interest in science. I've watched a lot of videos, I've read books, and I've been very curious about science, especially biology.
Wow. And would you like to be a scientist yourself one day?
Yes, or if not, I would become a biologist or a veterinarian.
Veterinarian, yeah. Because this young man has 5, count them, 5 dogs at home. Yeah, so you're getting a lot of practice as a vet already. Nice to have you here, Mike. All right, Charles, Carroll, nice to have you guys here. Benjamin, tell us about your school. Who's your principal?
Our principal, Mr. Coates.
Yes, out there rooting for you. And who's the wonderful coach of your team? Miss Chaudhry, and she's been sending us great teams here for many, many years. And, you know, no county championship yet. Might be this year, right? I know you guys want to get to that championship round. Tell me, any alternates on your team?
We do have 4 alternates.
Can you give me their first names if you remember them all? And Snyder and Eli, can you help them out if you guys can?
All right. We have Tavery, Lillian, Princess, and Brenda.
You did a really nice job. Thanks, Ben. And something about Charles Carroll that you really like to brag about.
Well, I'd like to brag about the sports teams. They're really good, and the soccer team has won twice in a row, so, you know.
Yeah. So, and tell me about yourself, Ben. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to play video games, you know, like when I get home from school, I can just sit and relax, you know.
Absolutely. Now, you relax. Tell the people at home how many brothers and sisters you have.
I have 9 brothers and 2 sisters.
And 2 sisters. And among that group, how many of them have been on the Science Bowl?
Including me?
Yes.
That's 4.
4 of them. So this is a family affair for Ben's family over there. Thanks for sharing that, Ben. Eli, we've talked about sports over there. Eli, you're a basketball player and you have your eyes on maybe a pro career. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, academics are great, and so are sports. And if you combine the two, that's great. Why'd you want to do this?
Because I just find it fun. Like, I started playing basketball. Oh, you're talking about the Science Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like science, honestly. Like, I've been watching YouTube videos about science since I was like really young, like probably about 7. So I want to come here. And then I watched Jeopardy when I was young too. So I want to come on here.
You really prepared the right way for this show here. That's why you're doing so well. And Snyder, nice to have you here today. Talking about sports, you're a soccer player, yeah?
Yeah.
And you play basketball?
Sometimes.
No. And tell me, what do you want to do someday?
I want to be like a professional soccer player, maybe.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite soccer player now?
Yeah, Messi.
Yeah. He just got some kind of award I saw. You know, yeah. He is the toast of the world. He absolutely is. All right, well, good luck to you in that. Let's get back into our game. 70 for Charles Carroll, 80 for Buck Lodge. Last correct answer came from the green team. So, Ben, start us out.
Body systems for 15.
Body for 15 points. Multiple choice. If someone is lachrymose, let me spell that for you. Lachrymose. If someone is lachrymose, are they often burping, sneezing, or crying? All right, Charles, Carroll, buckle up, talk among yourselves in case I have to come to you. Burping, sneezing, or crying? Lachrymose. Ben?
Burping?
Not burping. Good try. Lachrymose. Israel, Mike, and Kathleen.
Crying?
Burping, sneezing, or crying?
Crying.
Crying, yes, because of the lacrimal glands that make the tears. That's where that word came from. All right, let's try again. Red.
Green, 10.
Green, 10. Fortune tellers often use crystal balls. They often also read the leaves of this caffeinated beverage to give you a hint of your future. What kind of leaves do they read, Charles, Carroll?
Tea leaves?
Tea leaves, absolutely right. Caffeinated beverage. Good work over there, guys. Okay, 80 points. You're 15 points behind. Ben, you choose.
Science potpourri for 15.
All right, tie it up if you get it right. Science potpourri for 15 points. Animals like cows and pigs and horses that are at ease around human beings are examples of this D initial process. Charles, Carroll.
Domestication?
Domestication, absolutely right. Boy, you got two good players on either side of you there, Ben. You're a good player too. All right, we've tied it up. 95 all. Go green.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. When a politician loses an election or is not eligible to run for re-election, he or she is likened to a lame one of these birds which waddles on webbed feet. Charles, Carroll.
Turkey?
Not a turkey, no. Buck Lodge. A lame what? A bird which waddles on webbed feet.
Ducks.
A duck. Yes, it's called a lame duck. Thank you, Michael. All right, good. 100 points. Now you have a 5-point edge. Israel, go.
Green things, 5.
Green things, 5 points. Some of you play video games. You remember the Mario Brothers? The Mario Brothers, yeah. The piranha plants in the Mario Brothers video games are out to eat Mario because those are what kinds of plants, Israel?
Carnivore.
Yes, they're carnivorous plants. They're like, you know, Venus flytrap. Good, go. Red.
Let's get physical, 10.
Physical for 10 points. Underground caverns, maybe you visited the ones in Virginia called Luray caverns, are always cool, no matter what it's like up above, because soil is a very good insulator, but a very poor what of heat?
What is it?
What do you want to say, Ben? Eli's giving you some advice over there.
Consolator?
Say it again?
Consolator?
No. Buck Lodge. Soil is a very good insulator, but a very poor what of heat?
Heat conductor.
Conductor. That's what I want to hear. That's the magic word. Good. Go red.
5 body systems.
5 in body systems. If you don't mind criticism or people who are being unkind to you, it is said that this body part is thick. Benjamin.
Nerves?
Not nerves. You have thick what if you don't mind people criticizing you or being unkind to you, Buck Lodge?
Muscles.
Skin. Skin. A thick skin. People who are thin-skinned, they always get upset at the least little thing. Okay, try again. Red.
20 green things.
20 in green things. Multiple choice. Unlike the plants found in terrariums and aquariums, the plants in herbariums are, which of the following? Mostly mosses, plants that reproduce asexually, or plants that are no longer alive. A herbarium. Charles Carroll.
Mosses?
Not mosses, good try. Buck Lodge, a herbarium. Mosses, plants that reproduce asexually, or plants that are no longer alive in a herbarium.
Plants that are no longer alive.
That is correct. Those
Let's
are plants
go.
that are pressed in pages and they are preserved. Yes, sir. Good. I like the smiles. Go again.
10 body systems.
10 in body systems. Aristotle, that very well thought Greek, thought that the center of human emotions was not the brain or the heart, but rather this largest of your internal organs. Which organ did he think was the seat of emotions? Buck Lodge.
Large intestine.
Not the large intestine, good try. The largest of your internal organs, the seat of emotions. That's what Aristotle thought it was. Not the heart, not the brain, but this organ, Ben.
Liver?
Yeah, it's the liver. Good. Oh, good group think over there. Yes. High five yourselves. Good. Go. 105 to 135. Let's go. You need some points. Charles Carroll.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo for 20 points. Your question is as follows. In ocean areas where sharks have been wiped out, sometimes people will just kill sharks for the heck of it. In areas where the sharks have been wiped out, the role of apex predator falls to these other cartilaginous fish that belong to a group called batoids, since they have wing-like structures that fly through the water. What are those creatures called, Charles Carroll?
Stingray?
Yes, indeed, the rays there. That's exactly right. And they also, then they are the apex predator when also a cartilaginous fish. All right, 125, 135. We got a nail biter here. Go green.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri, 10 points. In a preview of what might happen to us one day here on Earth, astronomers caught sight of a star like our sun, millions of miles away, eating one of its own what? Buck Lodge.
Planet.
Yeah, eating one of its own. The thought of us being eaten up by ourselves, we'll be long gone. Go red.
5 dateline science.
5 dateline science. History has been divided into ages. First came the Stone Age, then the Bronze Age, followed by this age when people started using tools made of this metal with the chemical symbol capital F small e.
Iron.
Iron, the Iron Age when we start using tools. That's it. Good. Go Israel.
10 dateline science.
10 dateline. Because irrigation is causing so much water to run off from the land into the sea, it may be causing a change in the rate at which the Earth spins on its axis. Another name for to spin on its axis is this, Charles Carroll.
Rotation?
Yes, sir. It is rotation. Good. You didn't get it confused with revolution. Great answer. Go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Charles Darwin guessed when he first saw the flower on your left that the only way it could be pollinated was by a moth with a very long tongue, which you can see actually does exist. That tongue is known by what P initial name? Charles Carroll.
Pollinator?
Not pollinator. That's a good try. The name of that tongue, it is P initialed. Buck Lodge, do you have any idea? It's called a proboscis. A proboscis. Good. That was a tough question. All right, go again, please. Green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. The scientist who designed the first helicopter was also... Yes, Buck Lodge.
What was his name? The guy who made a painting of... what was...
On the tip of your tongue. Let me go, Charles Carroll. The scientist who designed the first helicopter was also the artist who painted the Mona Lisa.
Leonardo da Vinci?
That would be he. Absolutely right. That's the way to do it, guys. Good. Go. You have a 5-point lead.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Francis Drake was the first seagoing adventurer who carried vitamin C containing fruits like limes and lemons to keep his sailors from developing this...
Scurvy.
Scurvy is right. You didn't even need me to spot you with the S. Good. Go, Ben.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. It was back in 1933 when doctors came up with the very first automated external defibrillator, which could restore a stopped heart with the application of what? Charles Carroll.
Electricity?
Electricity, those pads, absolutely, to shock that heart. Absolutely right. All right, come on, Red, let's start. Don't lose. Oh, the buzzer says that game is over. We have run out of time. It looks like Charles Carroll has done it. We'll double check that score and be back with you in just one moment. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Boy, was that a great game. I am so proud of all these players. They played their heart out here, and not only did they show what great science students they are, they're great sportsmen, and it looked like they were having a lot of fun. We hope you had fun watching here today. Our final tally today is Buck Lodge 150, Charles Carroll 190. A round of applause for Charles Carroll, please. And Benjamin, would you please introduce all those people you brought with you today? Okay. I know you can do it.
This is Taverin. This is Lillian. This is Brenda. This is Princess. And our and Dr. O. And our coach, Miss Chaudhry.
Yeah, if you don't introduce the coaches, they provide grades, remember. They're going to remember that. Nice job, thank you. And now a round of applause for Buck Lodge. What a great team they've got here. As we said, we have not seen them for so many years, and boy, you guys, you gave it your all here. Kathleen and Israel and Michael. Israel, tell us who's back there.
Christopher and Miss Branch.
Absolutely, and Miss Branch, and she's the reason why Buck Lodge is here, and we are eternally grateful for her bringing all of you guys back. And we're grateful for you guys for watching the Science Bowl. So it looks like now it is going to be Charles Carroll versus Robert Goddard in the rubber match to see who is the fourth semifinalist. We'll see you next time. I'm Dave Zarin. Bye-bye.